Have you ever wondered what would happen if a human were placed in the most extreme environments on Earth? A desert so hot that the ground could burn skin within seconds. A frozen wilderness where temperatures plunge far below zero. An ocean trench so deep that the pressure could crush steel. Or a place with almost no water, no food, and barely enough oxygen to survive. For humans, survival in such places would be incredibly difficult. Our bodies are remarkable, but they also have limits. We require a relatively narrow range of conditions. We need water, we need oxygen, we need food, we need protection from heat and cold. And when one of these essentials disappears for too long, survival becomes a challenge. Yet on the very same planet we call home, there are animals capable of thriving in places that seem completely impossible for life. Creatures that can survive freezing temperatures. Creatures that can endure intense heat. Creatures that live beneath crushing ocean pressure. Creatures that can go years without water. And some that can withstand levels of radiation that would be lethal to almost every other form of life. How is this possible? The answer lies in a force that has shaped life for billions of years: evolution. For billions of years, nature has conducted the greatest experiment in history: testing, adapting, refining. Those that failed disappeared. Those that survived passed their traits to the next generation. And over unimaginable stretches of time, these small changes accumulated, until eventually nature produced some of the most resilient creatures ever known. Today, we are exploring animals that can survive extreme conditions, animals that challenge our understanding of what life can endure. And our journey begins with perhaps the toughest animal ever discovered, a creature so small that several could fit on the tip of a needle, yet powerful enough to survive conditions that sound like science fiction: the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. At first glance, the tardigrade appears unimpressive, tiny, slow, almost microscopic, hardly the image of a champion survivor. But appearances can be deceiving, because this tiny animal possesses abilities that have astonished scientists around the world. Researchers have exposed tardigrades to temperatures approaching absolute zero, temperatures so cold that molecular activity nearly stops. Some survived. They have been heated above the boiling point of water. Some survived. They have endured radiation levels thousands of times greater than what would kill a human. Again, some survived. And perhaps most astonishingly, tardigrades have survived direct exposure to outer space, without air, without atmospheric pressure, without protection from cosmic radiation. After returning to Earth, some were still alive. How? The secret lies in a remarkable survival strategy called cryptobiosis. When conditions become too extreme, the tardigrade essentially shuts itself down. Its metabolism drops to nearly zero. Its body loses most of its water. Biological activity almost completely stops. It enters a dormant state called a ton. In this condition, it is neither fully alive nor truly dead. It simply waits. Months, years, sometimes even longer. Then, when conditions improve, it rehydrates and returns to normal life. Imagine pressing a pause button on existence itself. That is essentially what a tardigrade can do. But the tardigrade is only the beginning. If we travel to one of the driest places on Earth, we encounter another extraordinary survivor: the Namib Desert, an environment where rainfall is incredibly rare, a place where temperatures soar during the day and water is desperately scarce. Most animals would struggle to survive, yet one remarkable insect has evolved a brilliant solution: the Namib Desert beetle. Every morning, fog drifts inland from the Atlantic Ocean. The fog contains tiny droplets of water. Not much, but enough. The beetle climbs to the top of a sand dune and positions its body at a precise angle. Its shell contains microscopic structures that collect moisture from the fog. The droplets gather together, grow larger, and eventually roll directly into its mouth. The beetle literally drinks water from the air. No rivers, no lakes, no streams, just fog. A simple yet ingenious adaptation. Further north, another environment presents a completely different challenge: the Arctic, a frozen world of ice, snow, and relentless cold. Here lives one of the most famous survivors on Earth, the polar bear. To humans, Arctic conditions are deadly, yet polar bears thrive. Their bodies are perfectly engineered for extreme cold. A thick layer of fat insulates them from freezing temperatures. Dense fur traps warm air close to the skin. Their massive paws distribute weight across ice and snow. Even their skin is black, helping absorb heat from sunlight. Every aspect of the polar bear's body reflects millions of years of adaptation. Every feature exists because it improved survival in one of the harshest environments on the planet. But while the Arctic represents one extreme, the deep ocean represents another. Imagine descending thousands of meters beneath the surface. Sunlight disappears. Darkness becomes absolute. Temperatures approach freezing, and pressure increases to unimaginable levels. At the deepest points of the ocean, pressure exceeds 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. For humans, survival would be impossible. Yet, life exists there. One example is the deep-sea snailfish. These remarkable fish inhabit some of the deepest trenches on Earth. Their bodies are specially adapted to withstand crushing pressure. Their tissues remain flexible. Their cells contain unique biochemical compounds that prevent damage. For them, an environment that seems impossible is simply home. And the deeper scientists explore these regions, the more extraordinary discoveries they make. Strange fish, transparent organisms, bioluminescent creatures producing their own light in eternal darkness. Entire ecosystems thriving where we once thought life could never exist. Yet, perhaps one of the most astonishing examples of extreme survival can be found much closer to home. The wood frog. Native to North America, this small amphibian possesses a remarkable ability. During winter, much of its body freezes. Ice forms within its tissues. Its heart stops beating. Blood circulation stops. Breathing stops. To all appearances, the frog seems dead. Yet it is not. Special chemicals in its body protect vital cells from freezing damage. When spring arrives and temperatures rise, the ice melts. Its heart begins beating again. Blood flows once more, and the frog returns to life. It is one of nature's most extraordinary survival strategies, a temporary suspension of life itself. In deserts, another master of survival roams the landscape: the camel. For centuries, camels have symbolized endurance, and for good reason. These animals can survive for long periods with minimal water. Their bodies conserve moisture with incredible efficiency. They can tolerate levels of dehydration that would kill most mammals. Their adaptations allow them to thrive where many others would perish. Every drop of water matters. And every biological system is optimized for survival. As impressive as these animals are, some organisms push the limits even further. One of the most radiation-resistant life forms known is a microscopic organism called Deinococcus radiodurans. Although it is a bacterium rather than an animal, its abilities are extraordinary. Radiation destroys DNA. In most organisms, severe DNA damage leads to death. But Deinococcus possesses an astonishing ability to repair its genetic material. again and again, even after exposure to radiation levels that would be catastrophic for humans. It rebuilds itself, repairs itself, and continues living. Scientists study organisms like this because they may reveal important clues about the limits of life itself, and perhaps even the possibility of life beyond Earth. When we examine all of these creatures together, a fascinating pattern emerges. There is no single recipe for survival, no universal solution. Each species has evolved its own strategy. Some survive through extreme durability, others through clever adaptations. Some avoid danger, others endure it. But all share one thing in common. They are products of billions of years of evolutionary experimentation. Every adaptation, every survival mechanism, every extraordinary ability exists because it helped an ancestor survive long enough to reproduce. And over countless generations, those advantages accumulated. The result is a planet filled with creatures capable of surviving conditions that seem impossible. Perhaps the greatest lesson these animals teach us is this: life is far more resilient than it appears. When humans look at a frozen wasteland, a scorching desert, or a crushing ocean trench, we often see impossibility. Nature sees opportunity. An opportunity to adapt, an opportunity to evolve, an opportunity to survive. Because throughout Earth's history, life has faced asteroid impacts, mass extinctions, climate shifts, volcanic catastrophes, and countless other challenges. Yet life persists, again and again. Finding new ways forward, finding new solutions, and proving that survival is one of the most powerful forces in the natural world. Perhaps at this very moment, deep beneath the ocean, high within the Arctic, hidden beneath desert sands, or resting inside a droplet of water, one of these extraordinary creatures is continuing its silent struggle for survival. A reminder that the limits of life may be far broader than we ever imagined, and that in the harshest corners of our world, nature continues to reveal some of its greatest masterpieces.